The entire point of Outlander Blood of My Blood is a shift in perspective, adding context for past events that retroactively adjust the central story. Blood of My Blood started this process before its first episode even aired, and now it's going further. Right out of the gate, Blood of My Blood has completely changed our understanding of Claire's story, which is obviously exactly what we want from a prequel series. That Claire's parents, Henry and Julia Beecham, did not actually die in a car accident but rather inadvertently traveled through time, just as Claire did decades later, was disclosed in the spin-off's trailers prior to the premiere of Outlander, Blood of My Blood's first 2 episodes. This is a significant revelation because it opens the door for the stories of these characters. The fact that viewers typically already know how a prequel series will conclude is one of its drawbacks. However, because we suddenly don't know what will happen to Henry and Julia Beecham, Outlander, Blood of My Blood found a clever way to entice us back in. Now, the spin-off series' very first episode has taken this further with an additional twist that changes how we understand Claire's story. In Outlander Blood of My Blood Season 1, Episode 1, we saw very little of Henry and Julia. We saw a glimpse of Julia at Castle Leathers working for Lord Lovat, and we saw Henry among the Grants at the Castle Leoch gathering, but at first we didn't know how they got there. The first episode's conclusion jumped back in time to explain everything and reveal another surprise. Julia and Henry talked about their pregnancy while on their car trip in Scotland, pointing out that little Claire, who is only a few years old at this point, has no idea that she will soon have a little brother or sister. They intend to tell her when they get back from their trip, but they won't have time because their car crashes, causing them to jump in time. Julia makes no mention of her pregnancy in the second episode of Season 1 of Outlander Blood of My Blood. She is imprisoned at Castle Leathers, where Lord Lovat threatens to sexually attack her at all times. Although she doesn't say it, Julia's pregnancy adds to the urgency of her first objective, which is to get back to Henry and Claire. At some point, this kid will be born, but where and when? Outlander established years ago that Claire grew up without her parents. Raised by Uncle Lamb, she had always thought that Henry and Julia had perished in a car accident. The major revelation that the Beechams survived in Outlander, Blood of My Blood, along with Julia's desperate attempt to return to her daughter, which we know will fail, is heartbreakingly tragic. Julia's pregnancy further complicates the situation. Claire had already been estranged from Jamie for decades because she thought he was dead, and Outlander Season 7 has hinted that she was also tragically estranged from her daughter, Faith, who was also presumed dead. Blood of My Blood reveals that Claire was estranged not only from her parents but also from a sibling. We don't yet know if Claire's younger sibling or sister was ever born. If they were, though, it appears that the 18th century was when they first appeared. It is possible that we have previously encountered this sister in Outlander. Essentially, Claire was mistaken about everything she believed to be true. She had a family at all times, and it's possible that she had relatives nearby, particularly in the past. It will be intriguing to observe whether the major plot points of Outlander, Blood of My Blood, are resolved in Outlander Season 8. If Claire never found out that her parents survived their automobile accident or that she could have had a younger sister, it would be incredibly awful. The unpleasant fact is that she will likely never see Henry and Julia again. They would have been in their 80s during the Revolutionary War if they had remained in the past. However, their second child may have survived until the 1770s even if Henry and Julia did not live to ripe old ages in the 18th century. As was already indicated, Blood of My Blood will probably either confirm or refute the possibility that we have already met them. Outlander could run the ball the rest of the way once this surfaced in the prequel. The 7th season finale of Outlander suggests that in the forthcoming final season, Claire will search for knowledge about her daughter, Faith. This may reveal the real destiny of the Beechams, which might then spread to Claire's long-lost brother. Only time will tell, of course. Hopefully, the big shift in Outlander, Blood of My Blood, will result in a touching reunion of family members.